Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to Basic Steps for Preparation, Lessons 1.2. Let's go ahead and get started.
In the previous lesson, we discussed the first two of the 8 limbs, or angas of yoga, taught by Patanjali in his Yoga Sutras. Now, we can move on to the third anga, asana, or posture. The word asana often brings to mind the complex poses used in Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga is the practice that's taught in most yoga studios today, though it goes by many other names to distinguish certain variations. Hatha literally means force, and it indicates a variety of physical practices, including these poses. But what do these really have to do with meditation?
I'm curious.
Ironically, if you meditate in the lotus pose, Padmasana, like this, unless you're an advanced practitioner, you'll probably get distracted by sharp pain in your knees and legs. To correctly understand the role of asana in meditation, we have to turn once again to Patanjali's sutras. He defines asana very briefly in a single sutra. Sthira sukham asanam. Your posture must be firm and comfortable. Here, Patanjali simply indicates the proper seated position for the practice of meditation. He says nothing at all about the complicated poses practiced in today's yoga studios. Hatha Yoga's elaborate system of poses actually evolved after Patanjali's lifetime and over a span of many centuries. The purpose of that system is to prepare your body for extended periods of seated meditation. Advanced meditators have to be able to sit still for hours without being distracted by pain or needing to shift the position of their limbs. Even in a comfortable chair, you'd probably find it difficult to sit perfectly still for several hours. But if you had practiced Hatha Yoga extensively, you wouldn't find it difficult at all. Even though this system of poses was originally intended to prepare you for long hours of seated meditation, this fact is often overlooked. In many yoga studios, poses alone are practiced, without any meditation whatsoever. Because those poses focus on just one of yoga's 8 angas, students in those studios are missing out on the other 7. As odd as it might seem, practicing all those poses without meditating is like cooking a meal without eating it.
I figured it'd be a little bit more than that. It's like cooking a meal without any ingredients whatsoever. Just have the pot and the pan, no fire, no ingredients, just pot and pan, no utensils. Because there's 7 other things that you're missing out. And that's the thing that Ram Dass has said in one video that I've seen of his, that a lot of people in the Western world think of yoga as just stretches, and that's how I thought of it too. And but yeah, I'm glad to hear that they're kind of confirming that. And it makes me wonder if people who's taking this yoga lessons think that that is in fact yoga. I think they think that way, but I wonder how many of them actually goes beyond that.
Now, unless you plan to meditate for hours at a time, you probably don't need to practice all those poses. Yet, it's absolutely necessary to sit in a correct position for meditation, with a posture that's firm and comfortable, as Patanjali says. If you sit on the floor, it's usually good to have a cushion beneath you and support for your back. It's also helpful to sit with your buttocks raised a few inches higher than your legs. Or, if you prefer, it's perfectly fine to sit in a chair. If you do, be sure to keep your back straight. Slumping forward can cause back pain, and leaning backwards can make you drowsy. More detailed instructions can be found in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna tells Arjuna how to sit for meditation. He says, Samam kaya shiro grivam. Your body, neck, and head should be held erect. That means your head shouldn't droop downwards, nor should you hold your chin up unnaturally. Dharayan achalam stiraha. You should remain still, motionless. When you get an itch or some other discomfort, you should try to ignore it. Most of the time, it'll go away after a while. But if it persists, then you should take care of it to prevent it from becoming a continual source of distraction. Sampreksha nasikagram swam. Your eyes should be directed downwards, towards the tip of your nose. Your eyelids should be closed very gently to avoid creating any tension in the muscles around your eyes. It's okay if a little bit of light peeks in through your eyelashes. And finally, dishascha anavalokayan. You shouldn't look anywhere else. Obviously, if you hear a stray sound, don't look around to see where it came from. Your hands should rest comfortably in your lap or on your knees. There's no single correct position for your hands, although some Buddhist traditions specify that your right hand should cradle the left with the tips of your thumbs touching each other, like this. You might find it helpful to experiment with different positions of your hands. Find out what feels most comfortable, then choose one position and use it each time you meditate. Also, it's extremely important to choose a suitable location to meditate in. Places can strongly affect the way we feel. For example, consider how different you feel when you're at work, or when you're at home, or when you visit a sacred place like a temple or a chapel. Your choice of location can either enhance your practice or impair it. If you sit on your bed to meditate, you'll probably feel sleepy after a while. If you sit on a chair in front of a television, you might get distracted more easily. And if you sit in front of a computer to meditate, well, you get the idea. It's best to set aside a place in your home and dedicate it exclusively for meditation, prayer, and spiritual study. If you've already set up an altar of some kind, that place would be ideal. Otherwise, you can create a special space in a quiet corner somewhere. You can furnish it with a cushion or chair, and if you like, you can decorate it with sacred objects that are meaningful to you. Finally, it's helpful if you meditate in the very same place every time you practice. By doing this, you can gradually develop a strong mental association with that place. After a while, your mind will automatically quiet down as soon as you sit there. Over a period of months and years, it'll become a personal refuge, a sacred space that you return to eagerly again and again.
I guess it becomes very familiar and very. I mean, I never said it. It just made me think, like, yeah, kind of like how how you're comfortable in your house, doing what you do in your house, or comfortable in your car. For me, it's very strange. Like, I don't feel comfortable driving other people's cars because it's not mine. Even a brand new car, if I were to get a brand new car, it'd feel a little uncomfortable, but the fact that it's mine and I know it changes it just a little bit. So yeah, and it's very interesting. It made me think of, like, I guess from my Western mind's perspective, it's like, why would you think that? It's just another corner of your house. But I also think of familiarity whenever you start associating a particular place or a particular even item, whatever it may be, an item that makes you comfortable or remind you of something, or it's an idea for something. Like every time you grab this pen, you meditate. And every time you meditate, you grab this pen. That means eventually this will be associated a way of getting you in a meditative mood or in a meditative state. It's a help, I guess, a crutch maybe, or something to help you get into that state, like a place in your house. And I guess that's kind of the idea that I can't remember where I heard this from. Could be from my world religion class, but how people do the thing with the bowl and makes that noise, and then they just kind of let it sit there, and that noise, that vibration, that sound helps them get into a meditative state. It's like a focus. Also, I don't know who said this, but like to focus an idea, a sound, but Osho said to focus on everything as a means to kind of not to focus on one particular thing, because maybe that doesn't work, and to focus on everything, where everything just becomes one sound, so there's no one particular sound that stands out. Just different ways of meditation.
Many activities require some preparation. Each night, before going to bed, you brush your teeth, you adjust your bedding, and you turn off the light. This routine helps prepare you to get a good night's sleep. In the same way, there's a series of 3 steps that can help prepare you for meditation. You can use these steps as a standard routine at the beginning of each session. These steps are asana, the proper seated posture that we've already discussed, followed by sankalpa, or affirmation, and physical relaxation. To understand the role of sankalpa, consider this. Throughout the day, whether you're at work or at home, you're usually busy dealing with issues, solving problems, and coping with challenges. Then, when you get a chance to close your eyes for meditation, all those activities often continue to occupy your mind. And when you try to ignore them, your mind gets drawn back to those things. The fact is, you have appointments to keep, groceries to buy, and phone calls to return. These things are important, and they certainly deserve your attention. It would be irresponsible to simply ignore them. So, it's only natural for your mind to be drawn to all this. Yet, as we discussed in the very first lesson, to temporarily withdraw from your responsibilities while meditating can prepare you to deal with them more effectively. Meditation can rejuvenate and energize you, like a good night's sleep. But like it's sometimes difficult to fall asleep at night because your mind goes on thinking about all kinds of things, the same can happen in meditation. Such is the nature of the mind. Sankalpa is a powerful way to deal with this problem. It's basically a strong affirmation of your commitment and intention to meditate. This sankalpa has 2 parts. First, You mentally acknowledge all the unresolved issues and pressing concerns in your daily life. And second, you give yourself permission to set all those issues and concerns aside, just for the duration of your meditation. One way to make a sankalpa is to address your mind like this. Hello, mind. It's time to meditate now. I know you have a lot of unresolved issues to deal with and concerns that you worry about, but this isn't the right time for that. Please set it all aside for a while, just for the next 15 minutes or so. After this meditation is over, I promise to fully address everything that needs attention. Using a sankalpa like this before you meditate can help prevent your mind from being drawn back to worldly matters again and again.
That's interesting. I find that a little ridiculous, but at the same time, man, if it works, it works. I will never ever, doubt if that works for you, that works for you. And it makes me think about how I would do it. Me doing that, I don't think would work for me, but I think for me, I've tried a little bit. Like I said, I've tried before, but my mind is not. While it can always be thinking, can be silent, I would say sometimes. And what I do, I guess, is to focus on kind of an emptiness, to think about the emptiness, to focus on the emptiness. Because there are thoughts and everything, but then there's empty thoughts. There's nothing there. Well, it's not even a thought. Well, maybe it is a thought. Maybe it is a thought of nothing. And to focus on it. I'm not saying that works. You could try if you want. But that's how I've done it. And it helps quiet the mind a little bit. I never went fully into it because I was always bothered by like the you can feel your hairs moving. And I'm not saying my entire hair is moving. It's just like sometimes when you move and your hair gets tangled a little bit, but then all of a sudden, because you're so still, you notice everything, you feel everything, and then your hair starts untangling a little bit. That is the thing that for me, mind, amazingly, even though I say my mind's always busy, always thinking, I guess it's not so much so. Again, I haven't fully tried, but just a thought out there.
The third and final step of preparation is physical relaxation, completely letting go of tension in muscles throughout your body. You might not even be aware of the presence of tension in certain muscles, and that tension can make it difficult to sit comfortably for a length of time. But if your body is thoroughly relaxed, you'll find it much easier. You can use a simple progressive relaxation exercise for this purpose. In this exercise, you start by directing your attention to each part of your body, one part at a time. You might find it helpful to visualize each part as you do this. Next, you become aware of sensations in that part of your body and notice if any tension is being held in the muscles there. And finally, you allow those muscles to relax. You let go of any tension there. This exercise not only helps you relax, but it's actually kind of a meditation itself. By concentrating on each part of your body, you begin the process of turning your attention away from the world around you and directing your attention within. Okay, we're ready for the first guided meditation exercise of this course. These exercises are crucial because, like you can't learn to cook just by reading cookbooks, you can't learn to meditate simply by watching these lessons. For this first guided meditation, and for all the following ones, it's best if you sit in a suitable place, as we discussed before. You can continue to listen by using a laptop computer, a tablet, or a mobile device like your phone. Also, these same guided meditations are available as podcasts or downloadable MP3s, freely available on our website. You can find the relevant links in the video description below.
Okay, I'm not gonna react to that last bit. That looks like there's about 6 minutes of it. So if you want to watch and learn how to do it properly, or at least this first step, please go to his channel. If the link is not in the description, it could have been because I did a massive description update. You could always look, oh, right there. If I can, there we go. Basic steps of preparation, course in meditations, lesson 1.2. That's the thumbnail for it, and my title will usually have it right. You can usually just copy my title without the react part and the part after the react, and just type it into to YouTube and do the search. I will watch it myself, but please, if this is something that's interesting to you, please, again, any Swami and Guru that I watch, please give them a shot. Give them a fair shot. And be open-minded. As people have told me, without any biases, that's the most important part. Well, I will say this. If you have biases against or for someone, understand it, leave it there, but when you watch it, set it aside. It's still there, don't forget it, but try to set it aside and have a view without any bias. That's how I approach things. We all have biases. It's my opinion, at least as far as now, to be an idiot, ignorant, to say that I am unbiased. If you say that you're unbiased, you could end up being biased without knowing that you are. Just understand that we all are biased in some way. Acknowledge it and set it aside. You have to understand what your biases are to set it aside, so just be mindful of that. Hopefully that's a helpful hint for anyone. Anyways, that is part lesson 1.2 if you like my content, and I will good lord. I will be doing the other two, 1.3 and 1.4, but I will not be reacting to the practice portion. So please, if you want to do the practice, please again go to the channel and watch it. So that's my reaction to basic steps of preparation, of course, meditation lessons 1.2. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next vid. Good lord, I said that pretty quick.